You may understand every word in English, but when a native speaker answers you quickly, your mind suddenly goes completely blank. You know the vocabulary. You understand the question. You may even know exactly what you want to say, but the answer arrives too late. By then, the conversation has already moved on, and you are left thinking, why couldn't I speak? Maybe this happens in a cafe when someone asks, are you having anything else? Maybe it happens in a meeting, during a phone call, or in a casual conversation when someone suddenly says, so, what do you think? You translate the question into your first language. Then you build an answer in your first language. Then you translate that answer back into English. The conversation does not wait for all three steps. And this is important. Your problem may not be a lack of English. It may be the habit of translating, hesitating, and waiting until every word sounds perfectly clear before you allow yourself to speak. Hello everyone and welcome back to Talk Grow English. I'm Amma, and today's lesson is different from anything we have done before on this channel. Today, you are not going to sit back and listen passively. You are going to listen, notice, repeat, shadow, answer, and speak with me in real time. Think of this lesson as a calm training session for the moment when real English starts moving quickly. Let's begin with a simple question. What did you do this morning? Don't translate. Just answer with the first honest sentence that comes to you. Perhaps you said, I went to work, or I made coffee and checked my messages. That answer is completely fine. But imagine that you need one extra second. You do not have to freeze. You can say, that's a good question. Let me think for a second. Now the conversation stays alive. You have created a little space, and you are still communicating. Then you can add, I had a busy morning. What about you? Notice what happened. You did not give a perfect speech. You used a natural reaction, a short answer, and a question that returned the conversation to the other person. A textbook answer might be, this morning, I woke up at 7 o'clock, prepared breakfast, and then traveled to my office. That sentence is correct, but in real conversation, you might simply say, I had a pretty busy morning. What about you? Short does not mean weak. Short gives you time to think, and natural speakers use these small bridges constantly. In this lesson, we will follow a clear rhythm. First, listen to real-life English. Then notice how words connect. After that, repeat clearly, shadow naturally, answer quickly, and slowly expand a short answer into a longer one. We will return to cafes, meetings, phone calls, unexpected questions, and ordinary conversations. You will hear the English first. Before I explain it, because your brain needs practice understanding meaning without stopping at every word. So here is your first challenge. What do you usually do after work or school? Answer now in one simple sentence. Do not search for the perfect grammar. Do not translate. Just begin with, I usually. Even if your answer feels small, say it aloud. That small, immediate response is where faster English begins. Welcome back to Talk Grow English. I'm Emma, and right now, you are not collecting explanations. You are here to listen, react, repeat, and speak with me. We'll begin with short answers and gradually make them stronger. First, though, notice what often slows you down, translating an entire idea before you allow yourself to speak. If I ask, what do you usually do after work? You can simply say, I usually go home and relax. Is that a complete picture of your evening? No, but it opens the conversation. That first sentence matters. Once it is out, the next thought often arrives more easily, so start before your mind has translated everything. Let's try a real-life question. How was your day? Perhaps you want to explain every meeting, deadline, and problem, but the other person is already waiting. Begin naturally. Pretty busy, to be honest. I had back-to-back meetings. You are not rushing. You are letting familiar groups of words flow together. Repeat after me. Pretty busy, to be honest. One more time. Calmly, pretty busy, to be honest. Now add the detail. I had back-to-back meetings. Put it together. Pretty busy, to be honest. I had back-to-back meetings. Did that feel smoother? Connected speech matters more than forced speed. Real speed develops when your mouth no longer builds every sentence from zero. Now I ask, were the meetings useful? Answer quickly. Some of them were. Short, natural, and enough. You could also say, actually, one of them was really helpful. Actually gives your mind a little space while keeping the conversation alive. Your turn. Were your meetings useful? Say one answer aloud. Do not search for the best answer. Let one clear thought come first. Did you hesitate? That makes sense. When you need time, use a bridge such as, that's a good question, or let me think for a second. These are not meaningless fillers. Native speakers use them to stay connected while the next idea is forming, and you can do the same. Imagine I ask, what kind of work would you like to do in the future? Try this. That's a good question. Let me think for a second. Then continue. I'd say I want something more creative. What about you? Hear the pattern. You create time, share one honest idea, and return the question. Now shadow the full response with me. That's a good question. Let me think for a second. I'd say I want something more creative. What about you? Beautiful. You are not trying to deliver a perfect speech. You are building a living conversation, one manageable thought at a time. So when English feels too fast, do not wait for the whole answer. Begin with a useful phrase, add one clear idea, and stay connected. Keep that calm beginning with you. In the next moment, we'll turn it into a quicker, more natural reaction without losing clarity or confidence. Let's make that reaction quicker by noticing what happens inside your mind before you speak. Imagine I ask, "Are you free later?" What do you usually do first? Perhaps you understand the question, but then you search for the same sentence in your first language. After that, you build an English answer and check the grammar. If that sounds familiar, be gentle with yourself. You are not bad at English. Your brain has simply learned a slow route. Today, we are choosing a shorter route. Question, meaning, response. Listen again. Are you free later? Do not examine every word. Picture someone inviting you to meet after work. Now your answer can come from that situation. Sure, I can. Or perhaps, not really. Both answers are simple, clear, and natural. Let's try another one. How did it go? You do not need to convert each word. Just remember what happened. Was the meeting good, difficult, or surprising? You could say, "It went well." You could also say, "Not great." To be honest, notice how the response begins with meaning. You remember the experience, and English follows. Here is one more. Do you feel like going out? This means, do you want to go out? You do not need to analyze the grammar before replying. If you are tired, say, "Maybe later." If you have not decided, say, "I'm not sure yet." And if your answer changes with the situation, say, "It depends." Repeat after me. Sure, I can. Now in a more conversational voice. Sure, I can. Not really. Again, as if a friend had just asked you. Not really. Maybe later. Keep it relaxed. Maybe later. I'm not sure yet. And one more time. I'm not sure yet. It depends. Good. That short answer is not incomplete. It keeps the conversation moving and gives you time to add more. For example, are you coming with us? It depends. What time are you leaving? Or, do you want some coffee? Not really. I've already had 2 cups. Can you feel the difference? You are not constructing a perfect speech. You are responding to a real moment. Let's practice that instinct. I will ask a question, and you answer with the first clear English idea that comes to you. Are you busy tonight? You might say, "Not really," or "I'm not sure yet." Do you feel like watching a movie? Perhaps your answer is, "Sure, I can," or simply, "Maybe later." There is no need to impress anyone. The goal is to connect the question directly to a meaning, a feeling, or a decision. When you temporarily release perfection, your response begins to arrive sooner, and that small feeling of speed can be deeply encouraging. And that faster response does not have to be perfect. It only has to be real enough to keep the connection alive. Let's make this even more natural. I'll ask a question, and you answer before your mind has time to translate it completely. How did it go? Maybe you say, pretty well, or not bad, or it was stressful. Notice that you do not need to rebuild the whole situation in your head. You simply connect the question with your impression. Are you free later? Sure, I can. Or, I'm not sure yet. Or, actually, I have plans. If your first thought is, I need a more advanced answer, gently let that thought pass. A simple answer can be clear, natural, and completely enough. Now repeat after me. First, clearly, actually. Again, in a more conversational voice, actually. To be honest. And naturally, to be honest. I see what you mean. Now let it flow as one comfortable phrase. I see what you mean. That makes sense. One more time, with a relaxed voice. That makes sense. These phrases are useful because they give you a moment to think without leaving the conversation. You are not stopping. You are showing the other person that you are present. Imagine someone says, working from home sounds easy, but it can feel lonely. You can answer, I see what you mean. Then perhaps add, actually, I feel that sometimes too. That is already a natural response. It does not need to be longer. Let's try a quick no translation challenge. Do not search for the best sentence. Answer with the first understandable idea. What did you have for breakfast? Do you enjoy busy weekends? Are you tired today? What are you thinking about right now? Even an answer like, not really, maybe later, or I'm not sure yet is useful if it matches the moment. Speed grows when perfection is temporarily removed. You may still feel a small pause inside. That is normal. The aim is not to erase thinking. The aim is to make your thinking more direct. Instead of silently asking, how do I translate this sentence? Try asking, what do I mean? Then give that meaning a simple English shape. And as your responses become quicker, you will notice another challenge. Native speakers often do not pronounce each word separately. Words connect, sounds become lighter, and the spaces between words almost disappear. So once you stop translating every sentence, the next step is learning to hear where one spoken word ends and the next one begins. So, once you stop translating every sentence, The next step is learning to hear where one spoken word ends and the next one begins. This is connected speech, and it does not mean native speakers are speaking carelessly. In careful speech, you might hear, "What are you going to do?" In everyday conversation, it often sounds more like, "What ya gonna do?" The words are still there, but they are connected, reduced, and shaped by the rhythm of the sentence. Listen again. What are you going to do? Now naturally, what are you gonna do? Do not chase every tiny sound. Notice the whole shape. What ya gonna do? Try it with me. What ya gonna do? Again, a little more smoothly. What ya gonna do? Keep do clear because it carries the main meaning. Here is another one. Carefully. Did you get it? Naturally. Did you get it? The word you becomes lighter, and did you flows together. Listen for the strong words, get and it. Repeat after me. Did you get it? One more time. Did you get it? Good. You are not trying to sound careless. You are learning to move through the phrase naturally. Now listen to this question. Do you want to come? In a relaxed conversation, it may sound like, do you want to come? The small words become weak, while want, come, and the question's rhythm remain easy to feel. Try it. Do you want to come? Again, do you want to come? Notice how the sentence feels like one movement instead of 5 separate words. And one more familiar phrase, I have to go. In careful speech, every word is visible. In natural speech, you may hear, I have to go. Repeat it gently, I have to go. Again, I have to go. You might be thinking, but Emma, if I cannot hear every word, how can I understand the sentence? That is a very good question. You do not need every sound immediately. First, catch the strong words, the rhythm, and the situation. Imagine a friend is standing by the door, looking at the time. They say, I have to go. Even if the middle sounds unclear, the meaning is available. Context helps your ears complete the message. Now let's notice linking between consonants and vowels. Pick it up can sound like pick it up. Turn it off can sound like turn it off. The final sound of one word moves directly into the next word. Say them with me. Pick it up. Turn it off. Now try an hour ago. Let the sounds connect an hour ago. And take a look at it. Take a look at it. Do not exaggerate each word. Keep the phrase in small thought groups. Pick it up. Turn it off. An hour ago. Take a look at it. That is how listening and speaking begin to support each other. Now let's turn those connections into a listening challenge. I'll say one sentence at natural speed. Listen for its overall shape, not every separate word. Do you want to pick it up on your way home? What did you hear? Perhaps you caught pick up and way home. That is already useful. Here it is again, a little more slowly but still naturally. Do you want to pick it up on your way home? The small words became weak, while pick, way, and home carried the message. Try another one. Did you turn it off before you left? What stood out to you? Maybe you heard turn it off and left. Listen once more. Did you turn it off before you left? Notice how did you can sound like did ya, and turn it off flows as one unit. If you understood only part of that sentence, please do not feel discouraged. Partial understanding is not failure. It is the first layer of real listening. One more challenge. I saw her an hour ago. What did you catch? Listen again. I saw her an hour ago. The words connect, but the rhythm still gives you clear landmarks. Saw, hour, and ago. Now repeat after me. Keep your voice relaxed. I saw her an hour ago. Again, with one smooth movement, I saw her an hour ago. Let's use this in a short conversation about making plans. First, just listen. What are you gonna do after work? I'm not really sure, but I might meet Sam. Do you want to get coffee instead? Actually, that sounds good. Did you notice the strong ideas? After work. Not really sure. Meet Sam. Get coffee. Sounds good. Those strong pieces hold the conversation together. Now repeat each thought group after me. What are you gonna do after work? Keep, what are you going to light? And let after work stand out. I'm not really sure, but I might meet Sam. Let the uncertainty sound natural. I'm not really sure, but I might meet Sam. Do you want to get coffee instead? Do not force every sound. Let do you want to move quickly toward the main idea, get coffee. Actually, that sounds good. Connect it gently. Actually, that sounds good. Wonderful. Your voice does not need to be perfect. It only needs to keep moving. Now shadow the whole exchange with me. Stay just behind my voice and copy the rhythm. What are you gonna do after work? I'm not really sure, but I might meet Sam. Keep going. Do you want to get coffee instead? Actually, that sounds good. Try it again. This time as if you are speaking to someone you know well. What are you gonna do after work? I'm not really sure, but I might meet Sam. You want to get coffee instead? Actually, that sounds good. How did that feel? Perhaps a few sounds disappeared when you spoke faster. That is not carelessness. Your mouth is learning to organize English into connected thought groups. You have started hearing English as connected sound. Now we will use that sound to build quick reactions before adding longer answers. That first reaction is the doorway into your answer. It gives you a moment to stay present instead of disappearing into silence. Imagine someone asks, "What do you think about your new job?" You understand the question, but your mind suddenly goes blank. Start with, "That's a good question." Then continue with one simple idea. "I like it so far, but I'm still getting used to the schedule." Say it with me. "That's a good question. I like it so far, but I'm still getting used to the schedule." Now try this one. "Why did you choose that career?" Take a moment, then answer, "Let me think for a second. I suppose I wanted work that felt meaningful." Your answer does not need to sound perfect. "Let me think for a second" is not an apology. It is a natural bridge between the question and your real thought. Here is a travel example. Would you ever travel alone? You could say, "I'm not really sure, but I'd like to try it someday." Or, with more confidence, "I'm not really sure, but I think traveling alone would help me become more independent." Notice the difference. The first answer is short and safe. The second answer gives your listener something to respond to. Both are natural. Now listen to this small exchange. "I think working from home is better." "I see what you mean, but I miss seeing people in person." The phrase "I see what you mean" shows that you understand the other person even when you do not completely agree. Try another one. "Cooking at home takes too much time." That makes sense. On busy evenings, I usually make something simple. You are agreeing, but you are also moving the conversation forward. And now a gentle change of direction. "Do you still eat fast food?" "Actually, I've been trying to cook more." "What about you?" Here, actually introduces a new or slightly surprising idea. It can correct, update, or redirect the conversation. Let's practice with real questions. Remember, reaction phrase first, answer second. Do you like working from home? Take a moment. You might say, "That's a good question. Yes, I do, because I can focus better." Or, "I see what you mean, but I prefer working in an office. I like the energy." Next question, a little faster. "Would you move abroad?" Let me think for a second. I'd say yes, if I had a good reason. Or, "I'm not really sure, but I'd be open to it." Next one, "Are you good at saving money?" Actually, I'm getting better at it. Or, "That makes sense as a question, because I used to spend too much on food." One more, and this time keep your answer moving. What makes a day successful for you? That's a good question. I'd say a successful day is one where I finish my main task and still have time to rest. Did you notice what happened? You did not wait for a perfect sentence. You entered the conversation, bought yourself a little time, and then shared a real thought. Avoid saying, "I need more time to formulate my response." It is correct, but it sounds formal and distant. In everyday English, say, "Let me think for a second," and then give a simple answer. That small change makes your voice feel more natural. Once a simple answer begins, the pressure usually becomes smaller. You are no longer searching for the perfect opening. You are already speaking. Let's make these bridges feel automatic. Repeat after me. That's a good question. Let me think for a second. I'm not really sure, but I'd say yes. Now try. I see what you mean. That makes sense. Actually, I see it differently. Keep your tone warm and interested. These phrases are not empty filler. They show that you are present while you build your answer. Imagine a colleague asks, "Would you take a job with a higher salary but longer hours?" Answer now. Beginning with a reaction phrase. You could say, "That's a good question. I'd probably choose more free time." If you feel uncertain, say, "I'm not really sure, but I think it would depend on the job." Or balance both sides. I see what you mean. A higher salary is attractive, but long hours can be exhausting. Did you notice how the bridge gives you time without making you sound nervous? Now you are planning a trip. Your friend says, "We should stay outside the city because it's cheaper." If you agree, try, "That makes sense. We could take the train into the city." If you partly agree, say, "I see what you mean, but I'd rather stay somewhere central." If you want to correct the idea gently, say, "Actually, I found a hotel downtown that isn't too expensive." That makes sense, welcomes the idea. I see what you mean, shows understanding without promising agreement. Actually, turns the conversation in a new direction without sounding aggressive. Let's try a food question. Someone asks, "Do you enjoy cooking after work?" Give your own answer before hearing mine. To be honest, not always. I usually cook when I have enough energy. Or, actually, I find cooking relaxing, especially after a busy day. You could even say, "I'm not really sure, but I think I enjoy the eating more than the cooking." That small joke sounds human. Natural conversation does not need to be perfectly polished. It needs to feel real. Here is one more question. Are you a morning person? Start with a bridge. Then answer clearly. I'd say yes. I can think more clearly in the morning. To be honest, not at all. I need time before I feel awake. Or, it depends. I'm a morning person when I have something exciting planned. Shadow that last answer with me. It depends. I'm a morning person when I have something exciting planned. Again, connect the words smoothly, as you would in real conversation. Now for a faster challenge. Would you change your daily routine? That's a good question. I'd probably go to bed earlier. Do you find it easy to meet new people? To be honest, it depends on the situation. What about living without social media? Let me think for a second. I could do it, but I'd miss talking to some friends. If your answer was short, that is completely fine. A short answer is a stable first step, and a reaction phrase helps you reach it without freezing. Next, we'll gently build that first step into something fuller, clearer, and more natural. That first step is enough to begin, and now we'll give it a little more shape without turning your answer into a speech. Here is a simple path: answer, reason, small example, and return question. Imagine someone asks, "Do you enjoy cooking?" You could say, "Sometimes." That answer is natural, but let's gently open it up. Sometimes, especially on weekends. Now add a reason. Sometimes, especially on weekends, because it helps me slow down. And finally, invite the other person in. Sometimes, especially on weekends, because it helps me slow down. What about you? Repeat the full answer with me. Sometimes, especially on weekends, because it helps me slow down. What about you? Notice that you did not memorize a long speech. You simply added one useful detail at a time. Let's try another one. Do you enjoy exercise? You can begin with, "I'd say yes." I'd say yes, because it gives me more energy. Now make it personal. I'd say yes, because it gives me more energy. I usually go for a walk after work. What about you? Your turn. Repeat the answer slowly. Then say it again with a more connected rhythm. I'd say yes, because it gives me more energy. I usually go for a walk after work. What about you? I'd say is helpful because it gives you a natural beginning while you organize your thought. You do not need the perfect first sentence. You can begin calmly and let the rest of the answer come after it. Now let's talk about social media. Do you spend much time on it? Start small, not really. Add a reason, not really. The thing is, I find it distracting. Add one example, not really. The thing is, I find it distracting, so I try not to check it during work. Then return the question. What about you? Say the complete answer with me, keeping the words light, not really. The thing is, I find it distracting, so I try not to check it during work. What about you? The phrase, "the thing is," helps you explain what matters most. It sounds natural because it gives your listener a clear direction. Let's move to learning languages. Are you good at learning languages? You might say, "To be honest, I'm still improving." Then add, "I understand a lot, but speaking quickly is still difficult for me." And make it real. To be honest, I'm still improving. I understand a lot, but speaking quickly is still difficult for me, especially in group conversations. Now you have an honest answer, a reason, and a personal example. That is already a real conversation. Repeat it once more. To be honest, I'm still improving. I understand a lot, but speaking quickly is still difficult for me, especially in group conversations. If that felt challenging, good. Do not rush to make every answer perfect. Choose one extra detail, say it clearly, and give the other person room to respond. That small detail keeps a conversation moving, and the same pattern works with almost any topic. Let's try work-life balance. Do you find it easy to stop thinking about work? Maybe your first answer is, not always. That is fine, but let's open it up, not always. The thing is, I often remember unfinished tasks in the evening. Now add one real detail. Yesterday, I checked an email during dinner. Then invite the other person in. What about you? How do you switch off after work? Can you hear the balance? You shared something personal without telling your whole life story. A clear answer, one relevant detail, and room for the other person. That is natural conversation. Repeat after me, not always. The thing is, I often remember unfinished tasks in the evening. What about you? Good. Now imagine I ask, do you enjoy traveling alone? Begin simply, sometimes, then extend it. Sometimes, but I usually prefer company. Why? You might say, I'd say I enjoy traveling alone on short trips because I can make my own plans. You could even add, last year, I explored a new city by myself. Say the longer version with me. I'd say, I enjoy traveling alone on short trips because I can make my own plans. Did that feel natural? Or did you need time to build it? Either answer is okay. Choose a level that stretches you without making you freeze, because fluency grows through manageable challenges, not perfect or impressive speeches. Let's test it. Do you exercise regularly? Answer now in your own words. If you said yes, continue with a detail. Yes. I usually walk after dinner. Then explain why. To be honest, it helps me clear my mind after a busy day. I might respond, that makes sense. Do you walk alone or with someone? You could answer, usually alone, but a friend joins me on weekends. See what happened? One small detail created my next question, and that question gave you something easy to say. Conversation became a shared process instead of a performance. Here is a quick response challenge. Do people spend too much time on social media? Start with I'd say and give one reason. For example, I'd say many people do because checking the phone becomes automatic. Actually, sometimes I open an app without even deciding to. Now return the conversation. What about you? Do you ever do that? A longer answer does not mean filling every second. Fluent speakers answer, listen, react, and leave space. They may say, I see what you mean, before offering another view, or that's a good question. Let me think for a second, while organizing their thoughts. Keep this rhythm. Answer. Give a reason. Add one small example. and invite the other person in. If you are uncertain, say, "I'm not really sure, but," or "it depends." Those phrases keep you speaking while your idea takes shape. You can now turn a short answer into a real exchange without making it heavy. Next, we'll place this skill inside an ordinary conversation, where topics shift quickly and your calm, natural response has to keep up. And now we'll place that calm, natural response inside an ordinary conversation, where the plan changes halfway through and not every sentence is perfectly clear. Listen to this exchange. Don't try to catch every word. First, just follow the situation. Are we still meeting at the park on Saturday? Actually, I'm not really sure, but I think Maya had to change the plan. Oh, really? I thought she booked the picnic area. The thing is, the weather looks pretty bad, so she was thinking of moving it indoors. So we're meeting at her place. It depends. She mentioned the cafe near the station, but then she said her apartment might be easier. Wait, I thought you said the cafe was confirmed. No, sorry, that's not what I meant. The cafe was just one option. That conversation is short, but it contains several changes in direction. So, is the plan confirmed? The answer is no. The speakers are still deciding. You do not need to remember every detail to understand that. Why did the plan change? Listen for the reason. The weather may be bad, so the outdoor picnic might move indoors. And does the speaker sound excited or hesitant? The phrase, "I'm not really sure, but," tells you the person is uncertain. The voice may continue smoothly, but the meaning is cautious. Now notice, actually, it often introduces a correction or a new fact. Actually, "I'm not really sure," gently changes the direction of the conversation. The thing is, usually prepares you for an explanation. When someone says, "The thing is, the weather looks pretty bad," they are telling you why the situation has changed. It depends signals that the answer is not fixed yet. And no, sorry, that's not what I meant. Repairs a misunderstanding without creating drama. Let's listen again. This time, follow the key details: park, bad weather, cafe, apartment, not confirmed. Are we still meeting at the park on Saturday? Actually, I'm not really sure, but I think Maya had to change the plan. The thing is, the weather looks pretty bad, so she was thinking of moving it indoors. It depends. She mentioned the cafe near the station, but then she said her apartment might be easier. No, sorry, that's not what I meant. The cafe was just one option. Now answer quickly. What would you say next? You could say, "Got it. So nothing is confirmed yet." That is natural because you are responding to the real meaning, not repeating every sentence. Try another response. That makes sense. Let me know when you hear from her. Notice how simple that is. You are not translating. You are staying inside the conversation. Native conversations often include incomplete thoughts, small corrections, and implied meaning. That is not a problem to solve. It is the shape of real communication. So, if one phrase passes too quickly, keep listening, follow the intention, the reason, and the change in direction. When you stop chasing every word, fast conversations become much less frightening. Now, let's take that calm understanding and help your mouth keep up. Listen to this exchange for the situation. Not every word. Are we still meeting at the park on Saturday? Maybe. Actually, Maya texted earlier and she sounded unsure. Because of the weather. The thing is, the rain might be heavy. The cafe could work, but I'm not really sure she's booked a table. So the plan has changed, but nothing is final? Exactly. It depends on what Maya decides. She mentioned Sunday too, but that might not work for everyone. What did you understand? The friends are deciding when and where to meet. The original plan is uncertain because the weather may be bad. Did you hear every word? Maybe not, and that is completely fine. You caught the meaning, the reason, and the speaker's hesitation. Let's notice the signals. Actually, often introduces a correction or unexpected change. We're meeting at the park. Actually, the weather may change everything. The thing is tells you that the real explanation is coming. For example, the thing is, I have to work late. Hear the whole phrase as one signal instead of translating each word. And what does "it depends" tell you? The answer remains open because another condition matters. Are you coming tonight? It depends on when I finish work. I'm not really sure, but also keeps the conversation moving. It shows uncertainty while giving you time to form your next thought. Now respond quickly. Is the plan confirmed? Say, no, nothing is confirmed yet. Why might it change? Because the weather may be bad. Good. Imagine your friend tells you this news. What would you say naturally? Try, got it. Just keep me posted. In other words, tell me when you know more. Now make your response warmer and longer. That makes sense. We can wait and see what Maya says. Notice that you began with a reaction, then added an idea. That simple pattern helps you answer without freezing. Let's repeat the useful chunks. Actually, I'm not really sure. The thing is, the weather may be bad. It depends on what Maya decides. That makes sense. Keep me posted. Now shadow the full thought smoothly. Actually, I'm not really sure, but the cafe could work. Again, the thing is, we need to wait and see. Excellent. You are storing sound and meaning together, not constructing sentences from separate translated words. Real speakers often begin an idea, adjust it, and continue. Sometimes they leave a sentence unfinished because the listener already understands. So follow their intention even when the language feels incomplete. You can still react, clarify, and stay connected. Next, we'll make those reactions faster until listening and speaking begin to move as one calm, natural response. Let's make your reactions faster while keeping them connected to meaning. Mechanical repetition can keep your mouth busy while your mind stays outside the conversation, so listen for the feeling first. Say, "That's a good question," as if you genuinely want to. Give someone time and attention. Your turn. "That's a good question." Now add a little warmth. "That's a good question. Let me think for a second." Repeat. "Let me think for a second." Notice how the important words carry the movement. Good question. Think. Second. The smaller words become lighter, and that helps the whole sentence flow naturally. Listen to this contrast. I said the blue restaurant. Here, blue is important. Now say, I said the blue restaurant, with the focus on restaurant. The words are identical, but your meaning changes. One more time, I said the blue restaurant. This time, imagine correcting someone who thought you meant another place. Your voice shows the intention. Let's continue with a calm, useful reaction. It depends. Repeat it without sounding negative or unwilling. It depends. Now give a reason. It depends on how hungry we are. Your turn. It depends on how hungry we are. Good. If a friend shares a different opinion, you can show that you understand without saying you completely agree. I see what you mean. Repeat, I see what you mean. Now make it more reassuring. I see what you mean, and that makes sense. Let's put these reactions into a real exchange. I'll give you one line, and you answer directly. Imagine you are deciding where to eat with a friend. Do you want to try the new restaurant tonight? Your answer, that's a good question. Let me think for a second. Are you thinking about the Italian place near the station? You say, actually, I was thinking the same thing. Notice how actually connects your response to the previous idea. It does not sound like a new speech. It sounds like a natural reaction. It might be crowded, though. Your answer, it depends. If we go early, we should be fine. I see what you mean, but I'd rather avoid the rush. You say that makes sense. What about booking a table? Excellent. You are not translating every word. You are hearing the situation, understanding the other person, and choosing a response that fits. That is how faster speaking begins. Let's do the exchange again. This time, focus on intention. You are not performing English. You are making a decision with a friend. Do you want to try the new restaurant tonight? That's a good question. Let me think for a second. Are you thinking about the Italian place near the station? Actually, I was thinking the same thing. It might be crowded, though. It depends. If we go early, we should be fine. I see what you mean, but I'd rather avoid the rush. That makes sense. What about booking a table? Now repeat the full exchange slowly. Keep each thought group clear and let the meaning guide your voice. When you feel ready, repeat it again at a comfortable, natural speed. Do not force speed. Let the words connect because your idea is clear. Finally, say it once more while focusing on the conversation, not on perfection. If one sound is imperfect, keep going. Your speech is beginning to move as a connected stream, and next, shadowing will help you match the timing of real conversation more closely. Before we move into shadowing, notice what has changed. You are no longer repeating separate words. You are carrying one idea smoothly from the beginning of the sentence to the end. That is the difference between mechanical and meaningful repetition. Mechanical repetition asks, "Did I copy every sound?" Meaningful repetition asks, "Did my listener understand what I meant?" Try this. That's a good question. Say it warmly, as if you genuinely want to give someone time to answer. Now shift the stress. That's a good question. This version can sound surprised or especially interested. One more time. That's a good question. Put more energy on good, as if you truly appreciate the question. The words stay the same, but your intention changes. That is why rhythm carries meaning. Now repeat. Let me think for a second. Keep think clear, but let for a second move lightly and quickly. Let me think for a second. You are not refusing to answer. You are politely asking for a little time. If someone asks whether you want to go somewhere and you are not sure, say, "It depends." Keep it short, but do not make it sound cold. It depends. Then add a reason. It depends on the time. Let depends and time carry the main message. Now respond to an opinion. I see what you mean. Say it with genuine understanding, even if you do not completely agree. Then try. I see what you mean, but I'm still not convinced. Keep your voice open at first and firmer at the end. Let's turn these phrases into a real exchange. I ask, "Do you think we should book the restaurant now?" Answer immediately. That's a good question. Let me think for a second. Now I ask, are you worried that the restaurant will be too expensive? You answer, actually, I was thinking the same thing. Keep actually light and place the strongest feeling on same thing. I say, maybe we should choose somewhere more casual. You respond, that makes sense. Let the phrase fall naturally, as if the suggestion has solved part of the problem. Then I ask, would you rather try the new place near the station? Say, I'm not really sure, but I'd say it's worth trying. Do not separate every word. Let I'd say flow quickly into the main idea. Finally, ask, what about you? Make it sound like a real invitation to continue, not a memorized textbook line. In everyday conversation, short phrases become natural when they carry real curiosity. Repeat the exchange once slowly, once at a comfortable, natural speed, and once while thinking only about the decision you are making. If your pronunciation is not perfect, do not stop. Keep the thought moving. Your speech is beginning to sound like one connected stream. Next, shadowing will help you match the timing, stress, and movement of real conversation even more closely. That connected stream is exactly what we need for shadowing, because shadowing joins your ears, your timing, and your voice. We will use a real-life exchange between two friends. One friend has arrived late, and the other has been waiting outside a cafe. First, only listen. Do not speak yet. Let the meaning reach you before you think about pronunciation. Hey, I'm so sorry I'm late. The train stopped between stations, and I couldn't get a signal. To be honest, I was getting a little worried. I thought you might have forgotten. No, not at all. The thing is, I left early, but everything went wrong at once. I see what you mean. That happens. Are you still okay to get coffee? Actually, the cafe looks packed. What about you? Would you rather go somewhere quieter? That makes sense. I'd say we try the place across the street. You understood the situation, didn't you? There is an apology, some mild disappointment, reassurance, and then a new plan. Listen again, but this time, notice the rhythm mentally. Hear the meaningful words rising above the smaller words. I'm so sorry I'm late. The voice moves toward sorry and late. Those words carry the emotional weight. Now speak immediately after me. I'm so sorry I'm late. Again, without building the sentence word by word. I'm so sorry I'm late. Let I'm connect smoothly to so, and keep moving forward. Your goal is not a perfect accent. Your goal is automatic timing. Try the next thought group. The train stopped between stations. Repeat it. The train stopped between stations. Give train. Stopped. And stations the clearest stress. The words between them can stay lighter and quicker. Now add the second thought group. And I couldn't get a signal. Repeat. And I couldn't get a signal. Notice how get a links together. It should feel like one small movement before the stronger word signal. Put both ideas together now. The train stopped between stations. and I couldn't get a signal. If you lost one word, keep going. In real conversation, staying with the speaker matters more than repairing every tiny mistake. Now take the other friend's line. To be honest, I was getting a little worried. Say it with gentle disappointment, not anger. To be honest, I was getting a little worried. Let "to be honest" enter softly. Then place the main feeling on worried. Can you hear how the emotion shapes the rhythm? Continue with, I thought you might have forgotten. Repeat it as one flowing thought. I thought you might have forgotten. Now follow almost together with me, staying just behind my voice. To be honest, I was getting a little worried. I thought you might have forgotten. Good. Keep your attention on the meaning. You waited. You felt concerned. And now you want an honest explanation. Now respond with reassurance. No, not at all. The thing is, everything happened at once. Listen to the rhythm before you repeat it. The voice moves forward through, the thing is, then lands on everything and once, because those words carry the explanation. Say it with me. No, not at all. The thing is, everything happened at once. Your friend understands, but the evening still needs a new plan. Listen, that makes sense. Actually, the restaurant gave our table away. Notice the mild disappointment at the end. Keep the beginning calm. Then give more weight to gave our table away. Repeat, that makes sense. Actually, the restaurant gave our table away. Now offer a solution. Oh, I'm sorry. What about that little place near the station? Link what about smoothly. Let the question sound hopeful, as if you are helping the conversation recover. Your turn. What about that little place near the station? And here is the response. I'd say that's our best option. We can walk there from here. Keep "I'd say" light. And place the stronger beat on best option, because that is the useful new information. Repeat the whole thought. I'd say that's our best option. We can walk there from here. Good. Now keep the words the same, but change the emotional intention. First, sound relaxed. The train stopped between stations, and I couldn't get a signal. Now sound genuinely apologetic. Slow slightly and let couldn't Harry more feeling. Did you notice the difference? The grammar stayed the same, but your attitude changed the meaning listeners felt. Try this line with surprise. Actually, the restaurant gave our table away. Lift your voice on actually, then let it fall on away. Repeat it once more. Actually, the restaurant gave our table away. Now make the solution encouraging. What about that little place near the station? You are not only asking a question, you are moving the conversation forward. Let's put everything together at natural speed. Follow closely, almost speaking with me. I'm so sorry I'm late. The train stopped between stations, and I couldn't get a signal. To be honest, I was getting a little worried. I thought you might have forgotten. No, not at all. The thing is, everything happened at once. That makes sense. Actually, the restaurant gave our table away. Oh, I'm sorry. What about that little place near the station? I'd say that's our best option. We can walk there from here. One more time, but this time stay connected to the emotion instead of chasing every word. Imagine the late train, the worried friend, and the small relief when a new plan appears. I'm so sorry I'm late. The train stopped between stations, and I couldn't get a signal. To be honest, I was getting a little worried. I thought you might have forgotten. No, not at all. The thing is, everything happened at once. That makes sense. Actually, the restaurant gave our table away. Oh, I'm sorry. What about that little place near the station? I'd say that's our best option. We can walk there from here. If you missed a word, you did not fail. Keep moving with the voice, because recovery is part of fluent speech. Shadowing connects your ears and your mouth. Now we will test that connection when a question arrives unexpectedly. An unexpected question can feel like that stopped train. Your thoughts freeze, but the conversation keeps moving. Real conversation does not wait for a fully edited answer. You do not need the perfect sentence before you begin. Use this simple rhythm: react, answer, and add one detail if you can. Listen to this question. What do you enjoy most about your mornings? That's a good question. I'd say the quiet. I like having a few minutes before the day gets busy. The answer is not brilliant or carefully polished. It is simply clear, personal, and alive. Now it is your turn. What do you usually do first in the morning? Answer now, even if you use only 5 or 6 words. Perhaps you said, I usually check my phone. Good. Now add one detail. I usually check my phone, although I'm trying to stop. Let's increase the speed. I will ask, and you respond with the first honest idea that arrives. How important is technology in your daily life? Start with, to be honest, and complete the thought. You could say, to be honest, I rely on it too much. Or, to be honest, it makes my work much easier. Both directions are valid. This is flexibility, not memorization. Next question, is it better to save money or enjoy it now? Begin with, it depends. It depends. I think saving matters, but small pleasures matter too. Your answer may be different. Let it be yours. What do you do when you suddenly get a free evening? Begin with, actually. Actually, I usually stay home and recover. What about you? Notice how the question back keeps the exchange open. You are not performing, you are connecting. Here comes a harder one. What skill would you most like to improve this year? I can almost hear the long explanation forming in your mind. Let me gently interrupt it. Give me only 5 words first. I want to speak more confidently. That is enough to enter the conversation. Now add a reason. I want to speak more confidently because I often know the answer but hesitate. Finally, return a question. What about you? Try the full pattern now. 5 words. 1 reason. 1 question back. Excellent. A short answer is not a weak answer. It is a doorway, and you can choose whether to walk farther through it. One more quick round. Your travel plans change without warning. Would you feel excited or stressed? Start with, I'm not really sure, but I'm not really sure, but I'd probably feel excited once I had a new plan. Now answer for yourself before your inner editor takes control. I'm not really sure, but I'd probably feel excited once I had a new plan. Good. Even if your answer is not perfectly organized, it is alive, clear, and easy to respond to. Now imagine I ask a follow-up question. What would you do first after arriving? You do not need a new speech. Start with a bridge. Actually, I'd probably look for a quiet place to think. Then add one small detail. Maybe I'd find a cafe and check the local map. Notice the movement. Bridge phrase, answer, detail. That simple pattern keeps you speaking while your next idea is forming. Let's make the situation less comfortable. I ask, do you think people spend too much money on technology? You may disagree. Try, it depends. Some people buy too much, but others need technology for work. Or you can soften your opinion. I'd say it depends on how often they use it. If you need another second, say, that's a good question. To be honest, I've never thought about it carefully. Then continue with something simple. But I do think constant upgrades can become expensive. You are allowed to pause inside the sentence, not outside the conversation. That difference matters. Here is your recovery practice. I ask, how has your morning routine changed recently? If you get stuck, repeat part of the question. How has my morning routine changed? If the question feels unclear, ask, do you mean my routine on workdays or weekends? If you need time, use a bridge, actually. Let me think for a second. And if you still do not have a complete answer, offer a partial one. I'm not really sure, but I wake up earlier now. That is not failure. That is recovery. In a real conversation, staying engaged is often more valuable than producing a perfect sentence immediately. Now I will interrupt you gently. What do you enjoy doing in your free time? 5 words first. I enjoy reading before bed. Good. Now add a reason. I enjoy reading before bed because it helps me slow down. Now add a question back. What about you? Let's try one with a different opinion. Is learning English mainly about grammar? Begin with, I'd say no, because, and give your honest answer. You might say, I'd say no, because communication also depends on listening and confidence. Or say, actually, grammar matters, but it should support communication, not stop it. Both answers work because they express a clear idea and leave room for another person to respond. One final pressure question. You have 1 free month and enough money for one unexpected trip. Where would you go? And why? Do not build the answer silently. React first. That's a good question. Then answer, I'd probably go somewhere quiet because I need a real break. Finally, invite the exchange. What about you? You have practiced entering the conversation quickly. Next, we will make the exchange more unpredictable, with interruptions, follow-up questions, and opinions that do not always match your own. And when another person answers, the real conversation begins, because their opinion may surprise you or challenge your own. Let's explore a question many people have strong feelings about. Should we disconnect from our phones more often? My first reaction is yes. To be honest, I think many of us reach for our phones before we even notice what we are feeling. We check a message while eating, walking, or talking to someone we care about. After a while, that habit can make our attention feel divided. Now respond to me. Do you agree, partly agree, or disagree? Begin with a natural reaction instead of searching for a perfect argument. You could say, I see what you mean, but phones also help people feel connected. Repeat after me, I see what you mean, but phones also help people feel connected. Notice what that opening does. You recognize my point before adding a different perspective. It keeps the door open. It sounds like a conversation, not a confrontation. Here is another option. That makes sense, although disconnecting is not always practical. Say it with me. That makes sense, although disconnecting is not always practical. Perhaps you work online, care for a family member, or need to be available in an emergency. In that case, a simple rule like just turn it off may feel unrealistic. So you might say, it depends on the situation. Repeat, it depends on the situation. Good. Now make it longer. It depends on the situation. I try to put my phone away during meals, but I keep it nearby when I'm expecting an important call. Shadow that full answer with me. It depends on the situation. I try to put my phone away during meals, but I keep it nearby when I'm expecting an important call. Let's make the disagreement slightly stronger while keeping it respectful. I'll say, everyone should spend 1 full day without a phone every week. Your turn. How would you challenge that idea calmly? Try this. I'm not sure I completely agree. For some people, that would be difficult. Again, I'm not sure I completely agree. For some people, that would be difficult. The phrase, "I'm not sure," softens the disagreement. It does not mean you lack confidence. It means you are leaving room for thought. Now, I want to understand your view, so I ask, what makes you say that? Answer me directly. Maybe you say, the thing is, my family lives far away, so my phone is part of how we stay close. That makes sense. Has that happened to you? Have you ever put your phone away and then worried that you might miss something important? Give me a short answer first. Yes, it has. Now expand it. Yes, it has. I missed an urgent message once, so now I'm more careful. And keep the exchange alive by asking, what about you? My answer might be, actually, I feel relieved when my phone is out of reach, but I understand why other people feel differently. Listen to that carefully. I expressed my preference without presenting it as the only reasonable choice. Now, let's test how easily a reasonable opinion can sound stronger than the speaker intended. Imagine I say, people who keep their phones nearby are afraid of being alone. That sounds judgmental, doesn't it? My real point may simply be that constant notifications make quiet time harder to enjoy. You might reply, I keep my phone with me because I care about my family. If I answer, so you think people who disconnect are selfish? I have turned your comment into something you never said. How can I repair that misunderstanding without becoming defensive? I can say, that's not quite what I meant. Let me put it another way. Then I clarify, I understand that your phone helps you stay connected. I was only wondering whether we sometimes check our phones more often than we need to. Notice the difference. I do not defend myself for 5 minutes. I admit that my wording was too strong, clarify my meaning, and invite the conversation to continue. Your turn. Repeat after me. That's not quite what I meant. Now, calmly, let me put it another way. Suppose I say, people should completely disconnect every evening. You respond, I see what you mean, but that may not work for everyone. Good. You disagree without closing the door. Now add a reason. I see what you mean, but some people need to stay available for their families. What if you are uncertain? Try this. That makes sense. Although I wonder whether a short break would be more realistic. That response feels thoughtful because you are not rejecting my idea. You are adjusting it. To keep us talking, ask, what makes you say that? I might answer, to be honest, I sleep better when I stop checking messages before bed. Now ask me, Has that happened to you? Answer for yourself quickly. Yes, it has. Then expand it. Yes, it has. I feel less restless when I give my mind a break. Bring me back in with, what about you? I would say, actually, I used to keep my phone beside me at night, but now I leave it across the room. Ask one more question. Would you feel differently in another situation? My answer is, definitely. If I were waiting for an important call, I'd keep it nearby. That is natural conversation. We can agree in one situation, disagree in another, and stay curious rather than trying to win. Let's finish with a quick response challenge. I say, everyone should have one phone-free day each week. Choose a reaction. That's a good question. It depends. Or, I'm not really sure, but I see the benefit. Now add a reason. For example, it depends. If someone works online, a full day without a phone may be difficult. Excellent. Confidence does not mean producing a perfect answer immediately. A natural speaker can pause, think, clarify, disagree softly, and still remain connected. Real fluency includes uncertainty. Keep that calm mindset as we move into situations where you must think while speaking. And this is where calm fluency becomes practical, because everyday problems rarely give you time to build a perfect sentence. Imagine that your train is delayed and you have an important meeting in 40 minutes. Your mind may try to translate the entire situation. Don't let it. Focus on your immediate goal. Ask yourself, okay, what do I need? Perhaps you need another route, a new arrival time, or a message for your manager. Say it with me. Okay, what do I need? Now make the problem clear. The problem is, my train has been delayed, and I need to arrive by 9. Repeat that at a natural pace. The problem is, my train has been delayed, and I need to arrive by 9. I'm the station employee now. The next train won't leave for 20 minutes. Would you like to wait or take the bus? Choose quickly. Start with, I'd probably choose. Then give one reason. You might say, I'd probably choose the bus. The thing is, I can't be too late. Good. You did not need advanced language. You identified the goal, made a decision, and explained it. Let's move to a restaurant. You ordered a vegetarian sandwich, but the server brings you one with chicken. Your first thought does not need to be complicated. Think, this isn't what I ordered. I need the correct meal. Now speak politely. Excuse me, I think there's been a mistake. I ordered the vegetarian sandwich. Repeat after me. I think there's been a mistake. And again, connected and smooth. I think there's been a mistake. Here is my response as the server. I'm sorry about that. Would you like us to replace it? Or would you prefer something else? What would you say? Keep it direct. I'd like a replacement. Please. Or, actually, could I have the soup instead? If you need more time, use a natural thinking phrase. Let me think for a second. Try the full response. Let me think for a second. Actually, I'll have the soup instead. Notice how actually helps you adjust your decision. It signals, I've reconsidered, and this is my new answer. Now, imagine you missed a dental appointment because you wrote down the wrong time. You feel embarrassed, but your goal is simple. Explain briefly and arrange another appointment. Start internally. Okay, what happened? What do I need now? Then speak, I'm sorry. I wrote down the wrong time and I'd like to reschedule. Shadow that sentence with me. I wrote down the wrong time and I'd like to reschedule. I'll respond as the receptionist. We have an opening tomorrow morning or Friday afternoon. Which works better for you? Decide now. I'd probably choose Friday afternoon. The thing is, I have more flexibility then. Your turn. Choose tomorrow morning or Friday afternoon and explain why in one sentence. If your answer was simple, that is a strength. In a real problem, clear English is more useful than impressive English. Let's make the next situation slightly more challenging because sometimes the problem involves another person's behavior, not just a schedule or an order. Emma, when a coworker is difficult, the problem can feel personal. Instead of replaying the whole history, ask yourself, what do I need to solve right now? Emma, imagine your coworker keeps changing a shared project without telling you. You feel frustrated, but you need a calm conversation. Think, the changes are affecting my part. Now say, I noticed a few changes in the project. Could we talk about them before we update the file? Emma, repeat that with me. Could we talk about them before we update the file? Emma, your coworker replies, I was only trying to improve it. Why are you making this a big deal? Do not translate every word. Focus on your goal. Explain the impact without starting an argument. Try, I see what you mean. The thing is, I need to know about changes that affect my work. Emma, notice the structure. First, you acknowledge the other person. Then, you explain your point. I see what you mean. The thing is, I need to know about changes that affect my work. That sounds calm because you are solving the problem, not attacking the person. Emma, now choose quickly. Would you ask for a short meeting or send a clear message first? Begin with, I'd probably choose, and give one reason. Emma, maybe you said, I'd probably choose a short meeting because this would be easier to explain. Excellent. You made a decision, gave a reason, and kept moving. Emma, then your coworker says, you always take things too seriously. You do not need a perfect reply. Say, I'm not trying to make things difficult. I just want us to agree on the process. Emma, say it once more, calmly. You did not defend your entire personality. You returned to the practical issue. That is what fluent communication often looks like. Emma, now let's try a hotel problem. You arrive late, but the receptionist cannot find your booking. Think in English. What do I need? You need them to check the reservation and offer a solution if the room is unavailable. Emma, say, I have a reservation under the name Taylor. Could you check it again, please? Emma, the receptionist says, I'm sorry, but I don't see anything in the system. Do not translate your frustration. Ask yourself, what information can help? Then say, the reservation was for tonight. I booked it online, and I have the confirmation email here. Emma, repeat after me, I booked it online, and I have the confirmation email here. Emma, now make a choice. Do you want them to keep searching or help you find another room? You could say, I'd prefer to keep searching for a few minutes. The thing is, I've already paid for this room. Or, I'd probably choose another hotel if you can arrange it. I'm exhausted, and I need a place to stay tonight. Emma, both answers work because they make your need clear. You do not have to sound advanced. You have to communicate the next step. Emma, let's finish with a quick response drill. Your train is delayed. The train is delayed. So I need to let them know I'll be late. Your food order is wrong. I'm sorry. But I ordered something different. Could you check it for me? Emma, you missed an appointment. I wrote down the wrong time, and I'd like to reschedule. Your coworker changed your work. Could we agree on the changes before we update the file? Your hotel cannot find your booking. Could you check it again, please? I have the confirmation email here. Emma, these sentences are simple, and that is the point. Thinking in English does not mean thinking in advanced English. It means using the words you already have quickly, accepting a simple first sentence, and improving your message as the conversation continues. That flexibility is the foundation of natural, confident communication. Emma, now let's bring that flexibility into a conversation that keeps changing direction. Imagine you're at an informal event with people from different companies, and a new colleague comes over to meet you. Emma, I'll be the colleague first. Your goal is simple. Answer briefly. Add one detail. React to what I say. And ask one question back. Emma, hi, I'm Daniel. I don't think we've met before. I joined the design team last month. What do you do? Emma, start with, I work in. Add one detail about your role. Then finish with, what about you? Say your answer now. Emma, good. You didn't need a perfect introduction. You gave me something to respond to, so the conversation can move forward. Emma, let's continue. I usually work from home, but I come into the office twice a week. Do you prefer working from home or working in an office? Emma, begin with, I'd say. Give your choice and one reason. Try it now. Emma, nice. Here's a natural version. I'd say I prefer working from home because I can focus better. What about you? Shadow the whole response with me. Emma, I'd say I prefer working from home because I can focus better. What about you? Emma, to be honest, I like both. Home is quieter, but the office makes spontaneous conversations easier. Emma, react before giving another opinion. You could say, that makes sense. Or, I see what you mean. Then ask me something about my work routine. Notice the pattern. Answer, react, extend the idea, and ask back. That is what makes an exchange feel human rather than rehearsed. Emma, now the topic shifts. I've just returned from a work trip to Singapore, and I may need to travel again next month. Do you enjoy traveling for work? Emma, if you need thinking time, use it naturally. That's a good question. Let me think for a second. Then continue with, I'd say. Or, it depends. Take your turn now. Keep speaking even if a small grammar mistake appears. The other person is listening for your meaning, not inspecting every verb. Emma, my answer is, it depends. Short trips can be exciting, but frequent travel gets tiring. What would you ask next? Emma, you could say, what was Singapore like? Or, do you get much free time when you travel? Choose one and say it aloud. Emma, Singapore was fascinating. Actually, the trip made me think seriously about living abroad. I've been offered a position in another country. Emma, that was unexpected. So react first. Oh, really? Add, that sounds like a big decision. Then ask, are you thinking of accepting it? Emma, say the full response smoothly. Oh, really? That sounds like a big decision. Are you thinking of accepting it? Emma, I'm not really sure, but I'm considering it. The thing is, accepting the position would mean leaving this company much sooner than I expected. Emma, now respond to that possible departure. You might say, actually, a friend of mine made a similar decision last year. It was difficult, but it opened new doors for her. Then ask what country I might move to. Keep your voice calm while you choose your words. Emma, your turn now. React. Add one relevant thought and ask your question. This is how you stay present in a changing conversation instead of translating every sentence in your head. Perhaps you asked, which country are you thinking about? My answer is Portugal. I visited once, and I loved the pace of life there. Now let the conversation change direction. React. Add one thought and ask me something back. You might say, "That sounds exciting." I'd say the lifestyle would be quite different. What would you miss most about living here? I'd answer, "That's a good question. I'd probably miss my friends most." To be honest, that's the main reason I haven't accepted the offer yet. Before giving your opinion, show that you understand. That makes sense. Moving abroad can be exciting and lonely at the same time. Can you connect that idea to your own life? If you have never moved far away, simply say, "I'm not really sure, but I think I'd find that difficult too." Then ask, "When do you have to decide?" Now say it as one natural response. That makes sense. Moving abroad can be exciting and lonely at the same time. I'm not really sure, but I think I'd find that difficult too. When do you have to decide? Did you notice how your answer grew? You reacted, made a personal connection, and kept the conversation moving. That is real fluency, even when every sentence is not perfect. Let's try a freer version. We meet beside the coffee table at a professional event, and I say, "Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Emma. I work with the product team." Introduce yourself, mention what you do, and ask me a simple question. Keep it friendly rather than impressive. I reply, "Nice to meet you. I've only been with the company for 6 months, but it already feels much longer." How long have you been here? Answer briefly, add one detail about your work experience, and finish with, "What about you?" If it feels natural. Then I surprise you. "Actually, I may not be here much longer. I've been offered a job in Portugal, and I'm thinking of changing careers completely." Don't search for a perfect sentence. React first, clarify what I mean, and ask about the new career. In everyday conversation, a quick "really" often sounds more natural than a carefully prepared speech. I explain, "I'm considering becoming a travel writer. It sounds risky, but I keep thinking about it." What is your honest reaction? You could begin with, "I see what you mean," or "the thing is." Then agree, question the risk, or share an interest of your own. If your grammar slips, stay with me. A living conversation does not wait for flawless sentences. Calm recovery matters more than a perfect beginning. Here is your final question. If you could change careers tomorrow, what would you choose and why? Begin with "I'd say." Add a reason, give one example, and ask me a question back. Let the answer breathe, but do not translate it first. You have practiced what makes conversation feel human: reacting, clarifying, extending an answer, asking back, and showing genuine interest. You also stayed calm when the topic became unpredictable. Hold on to that feeling, because next we'll use these same skills in a focused listening challenge at full natural speed. Now let those conversation skills carry you into a longer exchange at full natural speed. You do not need every word. You need the situation, the decision, and the feeling behind each answer. Listen once without trying to analyze. Who is speaking? What are they deciding? And what does each person seem to want? Hey, have you figured out what you're doing this weekend? Not really. I mean, I was gonna catch up on some work Saturday morning, but Jamie's invited everyone out to that place by the lake. Oh, right. Are you thinking of going? It depends. If I can finish this report by Friday, then maybe. The thing is, I've been saying I need a proper day off for weeks. That sounds like a reason to go, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe. Although spending 2 hours in traffic and then making conversation all afternoon doesn't exactly sound restful. That makes sense. We don't have to stay all day, though. We could drive up after lunch and leave before it gets busy. Could do. Who's actually going? Jamie, Priya, Dan, I think. Oh, and Maya said she might come if she doesn't have to work. So nobody's fully committed, basically. Pretty much. Jamie wants an answer tonight, but, you know, it's not like we're booking flights. True. To be honest, I'm probably just tired. Everything sounds like effort when I'm tired. I see what you mean. What if we say yes for now, and then check how we feel Saturday morning? Wouldn't that be a bit annoying for Jamie? Maybe, but we can be honest. We want to come, but work's been intense, and we might need a quiet weekend. Actually, that feels fair. I'd say yes, as long as we don't turn it into a huge all-day thing. Deal. I'll message Jamie. Do you want me to mention that we'll probably arrive late? Yeah, say sometime after 1. And maybe don't make us sound as exhausted as we are. No promises. Keep your mind on the whole picture. 2 people are deciding whether to join friends at the lake, but that simple decision carries another question. Do they need connection, or do they need rest? Who seemed more ready to go? Who sounded hesitant? Say your answer aloud in one clear sentence. Now answer this. Did the hesitant speaker dislike the plan, or were they worried about their energy and unfinished work? Notice that hesitation did not sound like a direct no. It depends kept the possibility open, while the thing is introduced the real concern. And when the other speaker said, "That makes sense," the conversation softened. They did not push harder. They adjusted the plan. We'll listen again, but this time, follow attitude and intention rather than chasing every reduced sound. Listen again, and this time, don't chase every word. Listen for the feeling behind the words. So, are we actually doing the lake on Saturday? Or are we still pretending to decide? I mean, I'm up for it. It's just, I've got that report to finish, and I'm already behind. You said that yesterday. You could finish it tonight. I could, but I'd rather not spend my whole Friday night working. Fair enough. We don't have to stay all day. We could go for a couple of hours, grab something to eat, and head back. It depends. If everyone's planning to stay until sunset, I'm not sure I've got the energy for that. The thing is, Jamie's been asking us to come for weeks. It might be nice to show up, even if we don't stay long. Yeah, I know. And honestly, I do want to see everyone. I'm just feeling a bit worn out. That makes sense. What if we leave after breakfast, stay for 2 or 3 hours, and decide from there? Actually, that sounds manageable. I'd say yes, as long as we don't promise to stay late. Deal. I'll text Jamie and say we'll probably arrive sometime after 1. Okay, but make it sound casual. I don't want them waiting around for us. Right. I'll say, we're hoping to come by after lunch, but we'll play it by ear. Perfect. That sounds like us. Now, what was the real decision? They were not deciding whether the lake was good or bad. They were deciding how to join their friends without exhausting themselves. Which speaker sounded more enthusiastic? Which one sounded tired but still interested? Answer in English. The more enthusiastic speaker was. Then add one reason. Now listen to it depends. Did it mean the speaker had no opinion? No. It meant the answer changed according to the timing, the length of the visit, and the speaker's energy. And notice, the thing is, it often introduces the concern someone has been holding back. It is a gentle way to explain why a simple answer is not so simple. Your response challenge starts small. Imagine your friend invites you to the lake this weekend. Give a one-sentence answer now. I'd say yes. But I can't stay all day. Good. Now make it longer. Add a reason and a question. I'd say yes, but I can't stay all day because I need to rest. What time are you leaving? One more version, with natural uncertainty. I'm not really sure, but I might be able to come for a few hours. What about you? That kind of answer is real communication. You do not need perfect confidence. You need a clear direction, a reason, and a way to keep the conversation moving. Now shadow this part. I'm up for it. It's just, I've got that report to finish. Keep the momentum. I'm up for it should move together. It's just, connects quickly to the concern. Do not stop after every word. Try the next line. We could go for a couple of hours. Grab something to eat and head back. Let the smaller words become lighter, but keep the important words strong. Couple of hours. Something to eat. and head back. If some sounds disappear, stay with the meaning. If you understood the overall message even when some words disappeared, you are already listening more like an experienced communicator. Let's now strengthen that confidence through repair strategies. And when the meaning slips away for a moment, your next skill is not guessing harder. It is recovering calmly. This happens to everyone. A speaker talks too quickly, changes direction halfway through a sentence, uses an unfamiliar expression, or turns away while speaking. Skilled listeners do not understand every sound instantly. They notice what is missing, ask for what they need, and stay in the conversation. Imagine someone says, "I thought we could move it up, but with everything going on, we might as well leave it as it is." Perhaps you understood the general topic, but you missed the last part. Instead of freezing, say, "Sorry, what was the last part?" Repeat after me, "Sorry, what was the last part?" Keep it warm and light. You are not apologizing for your English. You are simply asking the speaker to bring one piece of meaning back. Here is the reply. "I said we might as well leave it as it is." Maybe the expression, "might as well," is the problem. Check the key phrase. Do you mean we should keep the original plan? Repeat that. Do you mean we should keep the original plan? Good. Now confirm the overall meaning. So, you're saying that we shouldn't change anything? Say it with me. So, you're saying that we shouldn't change anything? Notice the 3 levels of recovery. First, ask for repetition. Then check the key word or phrase. Finally, confirm the complete message. You do not always need all 3. Choose the smallest repair that gives you enough meaning to continue. Let's try another one. I was going to bring it up with Maya, but she seemed a little tied up, so I figured I'd circle back later. That was fast, and 2 expressions may have blurred together. Stay calm. What could you say? Try, "Sorry, what was the last part?" Or focus on the unfamiliar expression. When you say circle back, do you mean talk to her later? That question is natural, precise, and easy for the other person to answer without stopping at every same words will not help. So here is your first challenge. This phrase. Could you say that another way? After work or school? Repeat after me. Answer now in one sentence. Could you say that another way? A natural response might be perfect grammar. Sure. Do not translate. Maya was busy. Just so I decided to speak to her later. Now you have the meaning. Your answer feels small. You can continue say it aloud. That makes sense. That's small. She's had a lot going on. Is where faster Let's English do a short begins. Shadowing sequence. Welcome back to Talk, She seemed Grow tied English. Up, so I figured I'd circle back and later. Right now, again, you are not collecting with a smooth explanations. She seemed tied up. To listen. So I figured I'd circle back later and speak with now me. The repair. We'll begin with short answers, so you decided to wait, make them stronger, and the confirmation. First, exactly. Though I'll speak to her what this afternoon. Slows you down. If you miss translating an entire idea, did you feel a small before wave you allow yourself to speak? That feeling is understandable. but
What
it
do you
does not
usually
need
do
to
after
control
work?
your next
You can
sentence.
simply say,
Your job
I
is
usually
not
go
to
home and
reconstruct
relax.
every missing sound.
Is that a complete picture
Your
of
job
your
is
evening?
to catch one useful
No,
word,
but
build
it
a
opens the
bridge,
conversation.
and keep the exchange
That first
alive.
sentence matters.
Let's practice that
Once
simple
it is
recovery
out,
pattern
the
now.
next thought often
Catch one
arrives
word,
more easily.
use a bridge
So
phrase,
start before
and
your
give
mind
the answer
has
you can give.
translated everything.
Here is the fast
Let's
question.
try a real-life question.
Since your plans
How
changed
was your
at the
day?
last minute,
Perhaps
what
you want
did you
to
end up
explain
doing
every meeting,
instead?
deadline,
Maybe you only
and
caught
problem,
plans.
but the other
Stay calm
person
and begin
is
there.
already waiting.
My plans?
Begin
Let
naturally.
me think for a
Pretty
second.
busy. To
Then
be honest,
give a partial answer.
I had
I
back-to-back
changed
meetings.
them and stayed
You
home
are
instead.
not rushing.
You did
are
not
letting
need every
familiar
sound.
groups of words
You
flow
caught the
together.
topic,
Repeat
created a
after
little
me.
time,
Pretty busy.
and responded
To be
naturally.
honest.
Try
One more
another
time.
one.
Calmly.
What
Pretty
made
busy.
you decide to turn
be
down
honest.
the invitation even
Now
though
add
you were
the
looking
detail.
forward to
I
it?
had back-to-back
Catch
meetings.
one key word.
Put it together.
Perhaps you
Pretty
heard
busy.
invitation.
To be honest.
Say,
I had
the
back-to-back
invitation?
meetings.
To be honest,
Did that feel smoother?
I was just too tired.
Connected speech
Good.
matters more
If
than
you are
forced
still
speed.
unsure, add
Real
a check.
speed
Do
develops
you mean why
when your
I
mouth
decided
no
not to
longer
go?
builds every
Now the other
sentence
person
from
can
zero.
confirm,
Now I ask,
and the pressure disappears.
were the meetings useful?
Let's combine these
Answer
skills
quickly.
in a
Some
calm,
of them were
full-speed conversation challenge.
natural,
I will
and
speak
enough.
naturally, and
You
you
could
will
also
answer
say,
without
actually.
translating
One
every
of them
word.
was really helpful.
You mentioned that
Actually
work has
gives
been
your
a
mind
little overwhelming
space
lately,
while keeping the
but
conversation
it sounds
alive.
like things are
Your
improving.
turn. Were
What
your meetings
changed?
useful? Say
Respond
one
now.
answer aloud.
You might say,
Do not search for
that's
the
a
best
good
answer.
question.
Let one
I'd
clear
say
thought
I've
come
become
first.
better at setting
Did
limits.
you hesitate?
Here comes
That
the
makes
next
sense.
question.
When
Was
you
that
need
something
time,
you chose
use a
to
bridge
do?
such as,
Or
that's a good
did
question.
a particular experience push you
Let me
in
think
that
for
direction?
a second.
If you
These
missed
are
the
not
ending,
meaningless
recover.
fillers.
Sorry.
Native speakers
What was the
use
last
them
part?
to stay connected.
I'll say
while
it
the
another
next
way.
idea
Did
is
you
forming,
make that change yourself?
and you can do
or
the same.
did something happen
Imagine
that
I
made you
asked,
change?
what kind of work
Now
would you
answer,
like to
actually,
do in the future?
One difficult week
Try this.
made me realize
That's a good
I
question.
needed a healthier routine.
Let me think for a second.
And one final
then
question.
Continue. I'd
Do you
say
think
I
that
want
routine
something
will
more
still
creative.
work when life
What
gets
about
busy
you?
again?
Hear
Take
the
your
pattern.
time, but
You
stay in
create
English.
time.
It depends.
Share one honest idea.
The thing is,
and return the
I
question.
still need to practice
Now
protecting
shadow
my
the
time.
full response with me.
That was a longer
That's a good
personal
question.
exchange at natural
Let me
speed.
think for a second.
You listened.
I'd say I want
recovered,
something more creative.
and kept speaking
What
even
about
when the
you?
meaning was not
Beautiful.
instantly clear.
You are not
Notice
trying
what
to deliver
confidence
a perfect
really
speech.
looked like there. It was not perfect understanding, and it was not a perfect answer. Confidence was the decision to remain present. You asked, checked, answered, and continued. Asking, could you say that another way? Does not make your English weak. It shows that you care about understanding the person correctly. Saying so, you're saying that I should wait, is not failure. It is responsible communication, and skilled speakers do it too. Think back to how fast English once felt. Perhaps it seemed like one long stream with no space for you. Now you know how to find that space. You can catch a key word, use a reaction phrase, confirm the meaning, and bring your own voice into the conversation. Your progress may not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it appears in one calmer breath, one quicker response, or one moment when you realize you did not translate. Those moments matter. They are signs that English is becoming something you can live in, not merely something you study. Keep listening at natural speed. Keep speaking aloud, and keep returning with patience each day. Faster English becomes natural through repeated listening, repeated speaking, and the quiet confidence to continue even when you miss a few words.